These are the assembly instructions for my Color Your Halloween project. I'm starting with my crayon holder, and I have 3 score lines. I'm just folding down on them. And then I'm going to glue 2 of my 3 decorative panels for this piece in place. So I've got the decorative panel for the center strip and the one at the bottom, the one with the larger holes. I'm just putting glue on the underside of both pieces and gluing them down, trying to maintain an even border all the way around between the score lines and the edges of my piece. And then I'm putting glue on that thin tab at the bottom, and then I'm bringing the other end around, and I want the cut edge of the end piece to be right against the score line of my tab. So I'm putting glue on the underside of my 3rd decorative piece. So I've got the larger holes facing me, and I'm just slipping my panel inside my triangular shape, and then I'm just gluing it down. And then I have 2 pieces that form that inside box, and I'm just folding down on all the score lines. And I have a piece of black vinyl with the cutouts for the pumpkins. It's just a little decorative edge that I'm adding to my box. So this is cut out of black vinyl, and I'm using a well-loved piece of transfer tape to adhere my image to the top of that box piece. So next I'm putting glue on the tab that's on one side of my decorated piece. So from the score line to the edge. And then I'm adhering my second piece, and I want the cut edge of that piece to go right along the score line. And then I'm going to flip my piece over. I'm going to fold at the second score line and putting glue all over the tab. And then I'm bringing my other side over, and the edge should just meet at the score line of my tab. So now I have my box piece upside down, so I'm looking at the bottom of my box, and I'm folding in those 2 side tabs and putting glue all over them. So next I'm folding back the flap that's at the non-decorated side of my box, like so. Then I'm putting glue on my 1 remaining flap and folding it. I want to make sure that the edges of all the panels are flush at the sides and flush at that score line. And I'm going to flip my piece over, and I'm just going in with my bone folder, and I am just spreading that glue. So my crayon holder is going to be adhered to the bottom of my box. So I've got those round circles at the top. That flat surface with no cutouts on it is going to go against the bottom of my box, like so. I'm just putting glue all over that side. So I'm just gluing it to the bottom of my box, applying a little bit of pressure from the inside, and I'm going in with my bone folder. So next I'm assembling the handles and the carrier for my box. I have my 2 pieces with the handles on them, and then I have my bottom piece. It has score lines on each side that create the tabs. So I'm looking at the outside of my box. Now I'm just going to put glue from the score line to the edge on one of my tabs, and then I'm adhering the cut edge of this piece right to the score line of the tab, and my piece is flush at the top and at the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. So this is the inside. I'm going to flip it over, and this is the outside. So for my outside, I have 2 decorative panels. I have embossed them using an embossing folder and an embossing machine, so this wasn't done on the Cricut. So I'm putting glue on the underside of the panels. I want to glue the panel down 1/8 of an inch from the edge of that black piece, so that there's an even border on 3 of the sides. And I'm going to do that with the other panel as well. I have this little tab at the top, and this is the front of my little carrying case. And I have my offset layer and my sentiment, Happy Halloween. So again, I'm using that well-used transfer tape. And then I'm adhering my sentiment to the offset layer. And then I'm just going to adhere that offset layer to the front of my little carrying case. I've moved on to the interior of my little carrying case. I've cut a piece of craft board in black, and I'm just going to insert it at the bottom of my case just to make sure that it's nice and sturdy. So I'm just putting glue on the underside of it, and then doing my best to center it within the bottom of my case. And then I have the decorative pieces that go on the inside of my case. So one of them has score lines on 4 corners. I'm going to work on that one first. So I've printed out my little coloring pages. I've only put 3 of them in the file, but you could certainly add a lot more. And then I have these little corner pieces and a piece of white cardstock. Now this is just 65-pound cardstock. So I've got these little corner pieces. I'm just folding down on the score lines. I have 2 diagonal score lines and then one that goes straight across the top like so. So I'm going to fold down on that top score line, and then I'm folding down on both the diagonal ones, and that creates a little corner. I'm going to put my corner piece just so that it's right at the corner, my piece of white cardstock, and I'm flipping it over so I'm looking at the wrong side of my piece. And then I'm going to put glue just in that little triangle, so from the score line to the end, and I'm just folding down on my corner like so. And then I'm putting glue from the end of my cardstock to the end of my tab, and I'm just folding those over like so. And so that creates a little pocket to put my coloring pages in. So I'm going to do that for all 4 corners. So next I'm adding glue on the underside of this piece, including the corners. And then I'm placing it within those score lines that are on my panel. So I have the inside of my box again. This panel is going to get glued to the front of my carrying case. So I'm just putting glue to the underside of it. I'm placing the panel so that it's approximately 1/8 of an inch up from the score line. So you can fold your piece up just to make sure that it's approximately at the right place. And then I have the panel on the other side. I'm just putting glue all over it and adhering it to the back of my case. So then I have my box with my crayon holder, and I'm just going to put glue on the bottom of my box. I'm placing it with the flat side towards the back of my case. If I lift that back piece up at a 90-degree angle, I want my box to be right against that score line where it folds, and it has to be flush on both sides as well. And then I'm going in with my bone folder and I'm just spreading all that glue. And then I'm placing my little coloring pages in place. And I'm placing my crayons in place as well. I have my bats that I'm just going to glue over the corners of my coloring pages. So then you just fold up both sides, put that little flap through, insert the tab into the little slot, and there you have it. Color your Halloween carrying case.